Hello all, Shadwell here, ready to talk about the next film in my collection, The Blair Witch Project from 1999. It's directed by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez and stars Heather Donahue and Michael C. Williams. Ah yes, the horror film that launched 1,000 ships, both of imitators and parodies. Some were successful, some were instant trash, but the majority were pretty tepid and middle of the road. And then, just when you thought the found footage aesthetic was dying, 2007's Paranormal Activity revved it all up again. My favorite parody has got to be back in the day when Cartoon Network ran a Halloween marathon of Scooby-Doo Where Are You cartoon, and each commercial break would be snippets from what they were calling the Scooby-Doo Project. It was hilarious, and I'm sure if you look it up on YouTube you can find all the snippets collected into one video. It was great. And so is the film it's parodying. Now, I know the Blair Witch Project is really polarizing in part because of the extremely shaky camera style that made some viewers feel like blowing chunks with motion sickness, and then there are others who feel it's 70 minutes that amount to less than nothing, but I choose to look at it differently. I choose to see all the stuff in the Blair Witch Project that works even though it shouldn't, especially because without the genius marketing strategy and the seriously good scares, this film could have easily ended up in the 50 Decrepit Crypt of Nightmares. I can see the world where that happened. I remember back in 1999 when this came out, at first in a few theaters and slowly in more and more. I was working at a theater where I live and I kept trying to convince our regional manager to get this movie at any cost. It would pay off. Well, of course I wasn't listened to because I was 18, so fuck me, but they did eventually get the film when it became a box office juggernaut. I still remember going out to the parking lot and leaving piles of rocks by random vehicles, hoping they belonged to theater patrons who were inside seeing the Blair Witch Project. Hope I at least freaked out a few people. This movie is over 20 years old, but it still gives me chills during the interview section at the beginning when the guy is telling the story about Rustin Parr. Spooky shit. Although it's the documentary about the Blair Witch called Curse of the Blair Witch that can be found on this disc, which is scarier than the movie for some reason. Still can't put my finger on why. Anyway, the Blair Witch Project gets an A+ from me because I love it and I am not ashamed. Tomorrow we watch a film you've probably never heard of, but you're gonna want to. It's called Blind Beast. See y'all then.